Good afternoon. No, okay, actually, no. Hold on. What time is it? Wait. Yeah, it's 2 minutes to noon. This is Jason Wamper, your host of another episode of the Rocket Minute. I wanted to show you the completed prototype, my 5-channel rocket launch controller. Right now, this is finished. I finished with the wiring. It does look like a somewhat suppressed wiring nest in there. But let me explain to you all the functions and features. Let me get the shorter one of these two.
I don't think I've made myself clear, sir. It's true Montgomery's been the toughest resistance of the campaign there at Kentucky. However, if we
I've got a new camera program as well, so this video, I just got flapped by my kitty cat past his tail. I'm leaving the front door open now so the kids can look outside. I want you to see what I'm doing. This lone plug here, this is either AC power in or DC power in. This is a DC plug, and you plug it in there. It's unusually tight. Of course, it's brand new. It's brand new fitting. This end right here, you hook up to the battery. Of course, red is positive, black is negative on the battery leads. I'm thinking I may have to open this up a little bit because I have to use my car battery to finish the testing and the testing and certification of this box. I just want to make sure I've got everything wired correctly. But this is what's considered a through box, the 5-channel through box. So this is where you plug it in. This is for the DC. This is for a DC battery, as explained before. It goes in here. Of course, white is always going to be positive, black will be negative for DC powered applications, and that's going to be explained. And so this is the switch right here. This is a basic on-off switch. Folks, if it can handle up to 125, 150 volts, it can serve as a DC switch as well. So you don't need to be buying all these really, really overpriced, super expensive DC battery switches for anywhere from upwards of $15 to $20 each. And it only costs the manufacturer about 1 or 2 cents a piece to make. I'm really not digging this whole playing around with the consumer's patience and the pocketbook sort of thing. There is no inflation. There's a lot, just a lot of greed, an opportunity to make extra money. So you plug this in, you connect it to the battery, you turn the switch on, but these are the channels or the outlets. These switches, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This controls you. That allows power from this. This is power in. This switch is power on. That allows power from this switch, from this inlet to that switch, to this switch, and the power from this switch, when you have it in the on position, goes to this upper outlet right here. You notice they're 3-prong. I kind of had to do that because I couldn't get 2-prong, but I thought about it. This box would actually have more than one application. The wiring I use is from an extension cord, so it should be able to handle up to 125 volts alternating current. But this switch is for that channel, and these ligaments here are where the white wire, the neutral wire, goes in, or the DC power case, the positive wire, are interrupted. So that separates these two outlets. This outlet into two outlets. And this piece into two outlets. The black side, that's either ground or live. Ground if it's DC voltage, live if it's AC voltage. That's connected. Now if the white serves as power or positive for a DC application, the white serves as a neutral for AC application. I'll explain that later too. AC voltage. This box can be used for AC voltage as well. These are 110 switches. They're rated for 110 volts, household use, indoor, and 15 amps. They're rated for DC voltage all the way up to 48 volts direct current. That's 4 12-volt car batteries, and probably about 20 amps actually, probably about 20 to most 30 amps direct voltage, 48 or direct current, 48 volts. So, and I gotta tell you something that's nifty about this box. I'll turn this switch back off because I'm gonna be testing this box later. That switch, we turn that switch back off after you set current through these two prongs, a positive and negative for DC voltage, or a live, a neutral, and a ground, which I've hooked up for AC ignition application. And we'll talk about that in a second. So this is a dual purpose through box. You can have AC voltage going through it. You can have DC voltage going through it. And again, the AC voltage rating is 125 volts at alternating current at 15 amps. My goodness. I tell you, my spirit exceeding my body's mechanical limitations. It's a little bit frustrating. I'm an old man. I'm 53 years old. And I just can't push myself like I could when I was 40. Anyway, so this channel right here, this particular switch, I'm picking up my glasses and running into everything. This channel closes the positive or neutral circuit to this particular outlet. Again, I've separated the ligament here so that it has a common power, but it does not have, or it has a common ground, but not a common power. You can do that. Ground can be grounding for DC application. I know this is kind of confusing. Grounding for DC application can be shared. Like in a car, you can run one common steel rail from the tip of the car, from the front of the car to the back, and everything and anything that needs to be grounded in that DC 12 volt power situation can all be nailed down, bolted to, welded to, fastened to that common ground rail running from the front of the car to the back. Ground is ground. If it's got sufficient earth mass, you can service ground in a 12 volt DC application, of course with a battery and a generator in a 12 volt car, or 12 volt electrical system in an automobile. Same is true with AC application, but these work a little differently. Black is live, that's primary power. White is neutral. I'm not entirely sure what purpose white serves, but I'll educate myself. Green serves as ground. And I kind of think I'm fighting the volume of the movie right now. I'm watching Patton with George C. Scott. I'm kind of fighting an uphill battle against the illness right there. I'm fighting myself in the stupid chest cold of mine. So an AC application, black is live. That's where you get your power from. And of course, if you're touching a wall socket and you connect with the black and the white, you're going to get a real unpleasant surprise, because 93 volts of alternating current at 15 amps will pretty much kick your ass. It'll knock you on your ass, or it'll kick you across the room. You got to be careful. Green is always ground in AC applications, so I have things wired up accordingly. I don't want anything in this through box. I don't want anything in this through box, this 5-channel electrical through box, to be a shock hazard. AC components, including sink disposals, televisions, computers, blenders, coffee makers, especially microwaves. I'm telling you right now, if their AC power is not something you want to mess around with. If the green wire is not connected, if the component's not grounded properly, you're going to run the risk of electrocution. It's a shock hazard. So a lot of these tools these days, if they're corded, they don't have the green ground wire hooked up. My suggestion is, you have a little experience opening tools up and fixing them, replace the cord with something that has a live, a neutral, and a ground, and find some place on the tool, inside the tool, that you can get another cord with the 3 wires, the white, the black, and the green, and find some place inside the tool where you can hook up the green wire to ground the tool itself, and then double insulate the base of the hole where the cord comes through, and completely eliminate the risk of electric shock. Because if you get an AC powered drill, plug it into the wall, all they've got is two wires running through that drill. The drill is not necessarily grounded, so if it gets wet and you're using it, you are going to get shocked. You're going to get zapped. If it's hooked up with a green wire where you've retrofit the cord and you found a home for the ground wire, an AC application, an AC powered corded drill, you can use it underwater, you can handle it, you can pour it under the faucet with a running water, and it won't shock you, because all the ground, all the energy, the energy, if it needs to seek a source of ground because the water is conducting it, it's going to go through that green wire. Now, I'm not absolutely positively telling you to do that, but it eliminates the risk of electric shock or electrocution with AC powered tools and components that are plugged into the wall, that are corded and rely on AC power from a wall socket in a fixed structured building. So that's a safety tip. Okay, turn that channel off. Turn the inlet power off. This third channel, same thing. You want to be consistent. This third channel controls the upper outlet. The white has been segregated. Okay, so that's an independent. This is an independent. Of course, keep going through this channel. Don't knock, honey. I got Valencia here. She's gonna knock over the camera. This fourth channel, of course, controls the lower one. So look, now pay attention. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4. Now this fifth channel is a little different, and I was lucky enough to get a black on-off switch to differentiate that this channel is different. This is 88 cents at Lowe's Home Improvement Center. So it's basically the same cost as these slightly off-white switches. But let me tell you about this switch. This switch controls this outlet. Now look very closely right here. That I have not broken off the white the white tang, and of course it's not segregated here. What does that mean? Well, this has a green to ground, a black to live, and a white to neutral, or white is power, black is negative. White is positive, black is negative for DC application. You know why? Because this switch, this fifth switch, this black switch, you can see right there, turns on both of these outlets at the same time. The reason I do that is there's something at sport rocket launches called a drag race. And our National Association of Rocketry is very big into education, educating children on how to think scientifically, how to appreciate math, science, and physics by introducing something that's fun. The rocketry is a lot of fun. Kids love it. A drag race is a comparison of two rockets side by side being launched at the same time and determining which rocket climbed to the greatest altitude and got there first and recovered the most successfully. But a drag race is basically a speed contest. Which rocket is going to climb the fastest and the farthest first. And that's what this is for. This controls, when you switch that on, this controls these two outlets simultaneously. So they're not independent. These outlets are not independent like these outlets are. These two come on at the same time. This does not, this is not, that does not, that does not. So there, we're going to turn it off. Now, I want to show you the other cord I made, which I'm going to use. I'm going to keep as a tool. I have to, because this is not the only through box I'm going to be making. I'm having a feeling that this is going to be somewhat successful. But these ends, by the way, I bought for $2.50 each at the Harbor Freight. They got a pack of clips. I'll show you. Some of them are used. I got these. These are these are Storehouse electrical clip assortment, 28 piece, $3.50 from Harbor Freight. And I'm thinking to myself, you know, you got to be careful and not let yourself get ripped off. You need to start sourcing these parts and getting the best prices. It really pays to shop around. Otherwise, the next thing you know, you're going to be spending about $50 to $100 for something you could have gotten all the parts for less than $20. Excuse me, I had to take a drink. Unless you're rich, whether you're rich or poor, whether you are rich or poor, it does not matter. Wealthy people keep their money because they don't spend it frivolously, and they make the money work for them. People who are frivolous, even if they don't have much, are very, very intelligent. Poor people be intelligent with their money as well. They just know how to spend it. I'm poor right now. I'm cash poor. I'm trying to get past that. So remember to hit the like, subscribe button, and leave a comment. If I'm doing something stupid or foolish, just say anything you want. I learned from other people's wisdom and input, and I'm known to make mistakes. Yeah. Anyway. Wow. Anyway. No one, General George Patton was a general in the World War II. He was a pretty hardcore son of a bitch. The people didn't like him at first. He just did what had to be done. He just shot a couple of animals because they were causing a hang up, and it made him a fish in a barrel for a strafing run by a couple of German fighter bombers. That's kind of a hard part to watch in the movie. I'm watching that movie right now, that's why I'm talking about it. Anyway, here we go. So here's the wiring job. This guy, I'm going to test each channel once at a time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then 5. But I'm going to test both outlets on the 5th channel. I'm going to hook up this end to this fella here. Right here. You can see this. This is a digital multimeter. Guys, if you're going to build your own launch control boxes, or if you're going to engage in these type of projects, like this unfinished project, before I was even able to get a chance to finish it, my power inverter kind of took a poo-poo on me. So now I've got to gut the motherboard and either fix it or replace it. And inverters are not cheap. So I've got to fix this thing. So I'm going to be dismantling this thing next. But anyway, we're at the 18-minute mark. Boy, time flies when you're having fun. So when I'm done testing this, I'm actually going to list it for sale on either eBay or OfferUp. I haven't decided which. Then I'm going to start dismantling this. Then on my second video I'm going to shoot tonight, or today sometime. Actually, I have to run some errands after this. It's going to be on that 4-engine rocket that I'm showing to you guys. I'm having a hard time. My budget is really trim right now. I'm getting paid again on Tuesday, I hope. And I found another place to move, but it's going to present me with exciting opportunities or challenges where I'm going to end up leaving all my equipment in a storage shed or storage container that I have to pay for on a monthly basis. But if I can do things low key, I'll just shoot videos there. And then just when the other place I have to live is a bedroom, I can just go there and relax. But I can do all my office work and shoot all my videos from the storage shed. But of course, this is Orange County. Everybody has to tell you what to do. Everybody has to have rules. Everybody smokes pot. Everybody wants to fight the man. I look like Donald Trump's brother. I did not play golf with Satan. And no, I did not run over the family dog. So anyway, we're going to turn this on. I want to show you what's going on. There we go. We're going to select DC voltage, go to 20 volts, because you're not going to launch your rockets with anything more than a car or motorcycle battery, or even a little electron igniter with a 9-volt battery. And these little electric matches, that's all it takes. See now that this is DC voltage right here. I hope you can see that. My finger is. We're going to select the 20 volt range. 2 volts is not enough. It'll go into overload. 20 volts is greater than 12 volts, so that's what you want to select. We even got a temporary backlight. Don't leave it on unless you're using this at night. It is going to drain the battery. Oh boy. Okay, I can't get the backlight to turn off. They got a hold feature too. I was actually able to get this for free off of Craigslist, free stuff. Which reminds me, I think I'm going to go ahead and look through Craigslist free stuff and line up some freebies as they relate to the materials I need for building other rockets or electronic components. Anyway, I don't want to get derailed at the station. So this is pretty much it. So I'm going to be, look at that. The cable's faded. Oh, I got to use this dumb thing. So anyway, that's pretty much that. I just wanted to show you what I was going to do. I'm going to unplug this. I'm going to transport everything in this box. The way I built this rocket launch controller, the 5-channel rocket launch controller, I do want to show you that some construction tips, and I really want to start getting into showing you how I do things. I'm glad I got another the camera program, but I need to be hooking up my phones to a power supply while I'm doing this, and I'm going to start shooting 1-hour videos, because frankly, 10 hours is not long enough. Or excuse me, 10 hours. 10 minutes is not long enough. There's just so much to talk about when it comes to model rocketry. I am going to show you what I'm doing with this. By the way, these leads are extremely delicate. Be very, very careful. It might be a good idea to get smaller clipper pliers when you're cutting old zip ties off of electronics wiring. This stuff, if you push too hard, you can end up cutting through the insulation or the circuitry in the middle of the insulation. You know what I mean. So we're going to lay that on top of that. So anyway, let me take this out. Boy, I tell you, it's never a good time for a cold. These guys are screwed in with number 7 screws, Phillips screws, that are about roughly 3/4 of an inch long. Yeah. Well, I tell you, General Patton, he really did what had to be done, and he wasn't popular for it. I do want to take this off really quickly. No wonder he wasn't popular. And of course, I would do the same thing if I were in this position, because I find it necessary. You cannot be in the Army and be afraid to fight and afraid to die. I don't understand. You cannot fight a war and be in the military if you're afraid of death. It just doesn't go with each other. Same way you can't work in a donut shop if you're a diabetic. Can't drive a truck if you're blind. You can't be a politician if you're not willing to lie. So, I'm not endorsing any one of those career choices, by the way. So, pull this wiring out. You know what? That's as far as I'll pull it. You can see the detail in there. I used a circle saw. But the first thing I did to mount these guys, I used double-sided tape. I got that. And I get this stuff for $2 a roll at Harbor Freight. You get these gangs for about 93 cents each. They don't match. I didn't like the blue color, but I just settled with it. So you double-side tape the backside of these gangs and tape them on. Then you run small holes in there. You run wood screws with washers up and down. Secure them like so. Drill the hole for the conduits. And then on the backside, because these wood screws are pointed, you use a pair of large clippers and you cut the pointed ends off so that it doesn't make for an uncomfortable or injurious situation. I know it doesn't look perfect, but it's better than nothing. So I'm going to go ahead and screw this outlet back in. very, very simply, very quickly. I hope. I have hands that are the size of grapefruit. I'm 53 years old, and I've now got machinist hands. I'm a machiner fabricator. I've been building rockets and then ground support and launch control systems for 23 years. I've also been a mechanic for about 38 years, car mechanic. I just finally gotten out of that line of work. I'm just so disgusted and tired of not so much cars. I can deal with cars all day long. I mean, they have spirits. They get angry. What I can't deal with is people and their frustration and their inability to understand how difficult it is to work on cars. You know, until they find out the hard way for themselves that car repair is not easy, simple. It's not easy or simple. It's not cheap, and it's not fun. And you'd be amazed at how many people are out there driving around their damn cars thinking the mechanics owe them the world, which we don't, and their car should only cost $100 to repair, and they don't. So it's almost an argument for another day. If I put that back on, the machine screws, the wood screws I use in here are a little too small. I'm thinking number 7s might be too small. If you go with number 8s, you'll be safe. You're driving a little bit harder, but it'll grab better, and in these holes, it's self-tapping. It's high impact plastic, so you'll make the threads in the holes. Just don't over torque them and strip them out. If you do, unscrew everything, pull it off, replace the gang. So you can't glue metal to plastic. It doesn't work. I've tried. So there you go. So I just want to show you how that was built. This is special right here. It's kind of hard to explain, but I'll show you the bottom side. Now you notice that there's a tilt on these switches. I kind of got to get this wiring tucked out of the way. I'm not entirely sure how I'm going to do that. I think this might be okay, just leaving it underneath here like that. But, okay, so like that. And by the way, these zip ties really scratch the back of your finger. The cut end, the nubs are really painful to drag your fingers across. You can be cut wide open with a plastic knife. I'm telling you. This kind of sticks and hangs over. So I'm thinking I got to do something about that. And I might do something about that by maybe trimming the fat on this particular switch and even rewiring it and cutting it short. I think I might do that before I even try to test it. And I want this guy to get out of the way of this particular switch and that particular switch right now. So I'm going to pull it back. I think I'm going to do that. At this point in time, then I am going to trim the fat on this. And we were at 28 minutes, so I got to call it. You know what? I guess I'm just going to stick to 30-minute videos now that I'm thinking about it. A 1-hour video, unless I work out some arrangement with YouTube, it's going to take forever to upload. And I don't want that forever thing going on. Even though I have 2 phones, I cannot keep them tied up forever. If it takes all day, if it takes 24 hours to upload a 30-minute video, then I'm just going to have to save up my money and get get a much more expensive phone or even a tablet if I can do this. If I can record photo and video on a tablet, yeah, that tells you how old I am. And I'm going to go ahead and do that instead. Of course, I'll get a better tripod too, maybe a boom, maybe even a boom microphone. Really boost up the production value of these videos. I'm not really very photogenic, but even more than that, I look at myself on the screen, and it's almost like I'm not really meant to be an actor. I'm not meant to be on screen myself. My voice is barely acceptable. Maybe with some voice coaching, I'd sound a little better. But you know what? What really counts is your opinion. That's why I need you guys to hit the like and subscribe button. Please, please, please leave comments. Oh yeah, that's right. Okay. So yeah, that's it. We're at 30 minutes. This is Jason Walpley. It's been an episode of The Rocket Minute. Well, guys, we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.